one is very important component. Okay. Once we will complete the discussion of batch processing, like how internally. So high level, everyone know like how batch processing work, but integration point of view, since this particular learning you are doing to be an architect. So integration point of view, you should know internally how it's working. Okay. So on like a component level, you can understand like we have batch step, batch processor, like a batch step on complete, but internally how it doing processing, that discussion we will do. Okay. So let's start with day two remaining part first. Okay. If anyone has any doubt from day two, please let me know. And coming like till day 5 or day 6. Okay. So we will have discussion of basic things only. Okay. From day 7 to day 20, we will have like what I can say complex discussion. Initially, first we need to understand all the component, what all capability we have in Mulesoft on mostly on developer point of view. And then slowly we will start going in depth, like what is load balancer, what is VPC, VPN, what is access management. Okay. Those kind of thing. Then security policy, what all security policy we have, on which layer we should apply which security policy. Lots of things are there on advanced level. But let's like first 5 day or 6 day, we will focus on basic things only. Okay. So component wise, I think except batch processing, anyone has any doubt in any other component you want to have detailed discussion? Okay. No, then fine.
Yeah, I have a question. The object store and caching, the link between these two concepts, I'm unable to.
Okay.
I'm trying to create a program,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I'm unable to create it. Can
Okay.
you one more time, if you have shown me that I can create for myself object
Yeah. Yeah.
storing and cache flow.
So you are not clear with this, like these two component, how these two component are interconnected and when and why we use. Is this?
Individual I can understand, but in between these two, how I
Okay.
need to merge it, I didn't unable to generate that flow.
Let's say this is our mule application. Okay.
Hmm.
This is our start point, that is HTTP listener.
Okay. Okay.
This is doing two external call. One to get
So this get to flight router is from HTTP. I need to get it, or like I need to call enter flow, or
wait. First, try to understand use case first, and
hmm,
then
hmm,
we will use caching and all.
hmm, hmm.
Okay. We have one use case, okay, where we need to develop one API. That API will give you all the flight routes and their schedule. Let's say, uh, let's say this particular API is for Air India, okay, or Indigo, any flight, okay. So that flight company will have some route, okay, on which route they have flights. Let's say Bangalore to Kolkata, or maybe Kolkata to USA, or like Kolkata to Hyderabad. Okay, so there will be multiple routes. So do you think that route will keep changing very frequently? As per your understanding, how frequently new routes will be added for any flight company?
Yes.
I'm asking, as per your understanding, how
Hmm.
frequently it should change?
No, no, never. Occasional, like 2 3 days, the route will be changed.
Sorry.
Like frequently, it will change. I mean, frequently it will change.
Routes will change very frequently.
Yes.
Okay. What is other people point of view? Like for any flight company, their
Hmm.
routes will change very frequently, or it will not change frequently.
Ravi,
It
it will not change frequently.
rarely, yeah, I think
So
rarely.
ideally, it will not change. Route will not. They have route like from Bangalore to Kolkata. If they want to add new route, then they have lots of approval process. Okay,
Okay. And,
means
uh,
they have to take permission from that particular airport, and lots of things are there. Okay, and
okay.
another thing, like for any flight company, if they are adding new route, then like it's very for them, it's a like costly process. Okay, so they will not keep adding routes very frequently. Two routes in a day. Next day again he added 10 routes. That much flight also he should have. That much like staff also he should have. Okay, so this will happen maybe once in a month or twice in a month, maximum 5 times in a month. Okay, but this route will not change very frequently. So
Okay. Hmm.
this particular detail will not change very frequently. Coming to, okay, let me add one more call. Okay, now coming to schedule. Schedule means what all times they have flight. For that, let's say here I got 10 route. Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
Now coming to schedule, how frequently it will change?
Schedule also where like uh, it will based on that whether it will be changed schedule. Otherwise, no change.
So first route, this will change once in a month. Okay, let's
Hmm.
assume it will change once in a month. This should not
Hmm.
change very frequently.
Hmm. Hmm.
Schedule,
Hmm.
okay, maybe
Yeah.
some flights are there due to some reason, their timing got changed. Okay,
Hmm.
this can happen relatively compared to this can happen frequently. This will also
Hmm.
never happen, like not happen very frequently. It may happen like, okay, that particular flight company has 50 routes. Okay, more like, let's say it has 50 routes. Out of 50 routes, every day one route's flight schedule will change. Okay, that flight time was 9 p.m. Now, due to some reason, that flight will go at 9:30. Okay, let's assume this will happen once in a day for one flight, any one flight. We don't know which one. Is it clear or not?
Clear. Clear.
Now coming to seat availability, how frequently it will change?
If very frequently it will be able seats availability
So
changes.
every 1 minute, 2 minutes, this can change.
Yes. Yes. Hmm.
Correct? So here
Correct.
we have we need three set of data. Like customer want to know what all routes that flight has, what all schedules that like flight company provides, and how many seats are there. Okay, so those details that customer want, so they will call this API, and then in response it will combine all these three and it will send as a response. Okay, we have this route like Kolkata to Bangalore. In that
Hmm.
route we have three schedule. Start
Hmm.
one
Hmm.
flight is 9 a.m., another one is 2 p.m., another one at 10 p.m. Okay, for each route we have like first route we have, okay, sorry, this is schedule, sorry. So we have three schedule. Okay, for each schedule we have, first schedule we have 10 seat, second schedule we have 20 seat, and third schedule we have 15 seat.
Hmm.
Okay, and then it will combine and it will send response. Okay, for like this flight, this schedule, this many seats are there, so it will send complete list to customer who is calling or invoking this API. Okay, now in a day, let's say this processing takes 3 seconds. Okay, to get this detail, let's say we are calling database or we are calling any third party API. Okay, any external API, whatever we are calling is taking 3 seconds. This is taking 2 seconds.
Hmm.
And this is also taking 2 seconds. And the other thing like listening that request and transforming, this is taking maybe 1 second. So what will be overall processing time? 3 to 5 to 7 plus other processing 1 second. How many second? 8 second.
8
Okay.
seconds. Hmm.
Now let's assume in a minute or in an hour, 1 hour, this particular API is getting 1000 requests or 1000 or 10,000. Let's say 10,000 requests. In 1 hour, this API is getting 10,000 requests. So what will be overall processing time for all the requests? 10,000 into 8 means it will be total 8,000, 80,000 second. Correct or not? Now you can see here For this two particular call, again and again we are calling whatever external system, either it's a database or third-party API or Salesforce, whatever external system where we have this data, we are calling that system again and again, but we are getting static response. Okay, for 1 month we are getting static response. So is it good practice to call this again and again? Anyone?
No, Ravi. It's not a good call to for every second.
So what we will do here, we'll put this component inside cache.
Okay.
Okay. Now we have this particular component inside cache component, and this cache component will store data how many days? Okay, you can see here for this particular API, sorry, for particular data, this data change once in a month. Okay, so for how many days we should do caching? We should do caching for 30 days.
Yes.
So it will be again wrong. Okay. If you will do caching for 30 days, then what will happen? If new flight added today, then next 30 days you will not able to see that flight. If new
Okay.
routes, not flight, if new routes got added, and if you are doing caching for 30 days, okay. So for example, today we added one flight. Okay. So now we have caching. Yesterday someone did this call. Okay. And today I added new flight. Since this data is inside cache, so next 30 days you will not able to see new flight, new routes. Okay, so we should never do caching for similar interval for what we have static response. So caching must be relatively very low to the actual static time. Okay, if it is for 1 month, then if you will do caching for 1 month, then you will have again bad user experience. In first case also we have bad user experience since our API processing time is too high. Okay, ideally any REST API should respond within 2-3 seconds, but this is taking 8 seconds. So we are trying to improve our API. So we plan to apply caching, but if we will apply caching for 30 days, there may be a scenario where whoever calling this API, they will not able to see new routes for next 30 days. Okay, so here you can do two things. First thing, you can do caching for very shorter time. Let's say we will do caching for, you can see in 1 hour only we have 10,000 call. Okay, so we can do caching for 6 hours. Okay, so what will happen if we will do caching for 6 hours? Then that new routes will not be able to visible, like that will not be come in this for 6 hours, but still user will not have very poor experience. Okay, if some company is adding new routes, okay, and they are adding routes in 30 days, then for them, if that route is not visible for 6 hours, there will not be any business impact. Everyone agreed on this point?
Yes.
Okay. So we will do caching, but we should not do caching for similar time. We should do caching for lower time. Like it should be very lower. So there should not be bad user experience, whoever consuming this API. Okay. So if some data used to change in 30 day or 40 day, then if data will not be visible for 5-6 hours, then it's okay. That will not create big user impact. But data will not be visible for 1 month. So first thing you can do caching for shorter interval. That is first point. Second point, there is one option. Okay, you can delete the cache. Okay, you can clean the cache. And when you will clean the cache, when you are inserting new data in this particular storage. whatever storage. Let's say it's a database or it's a Salesforce system or it's a whatever system is there or it's a third-party API. So first thing you can do, either you can do caching for very shorter duration, or second approach you can apply whenever you are inserting new data in this particular storage from some other API. Definitely there will be another API. So you have to write their clear cache function. So what it will do, whenever new flight will be added, that cache will be cleaned. Okay. In that case, what will happen? If new request will come, now it like this particular call will not able to find data in cache. So it will do actual call, it will get data. So here, like they will not get even 6 hour bad experience also. Immediately they will start getting new flights, new features, or sorry, new routes. Okay. So based on the scenario, you need to based on the business requirement, you need to understand either you will use caching for shorter duration. And shorter duration doesn't means 1 minute, 2 minute. It means how frequently that data is changing compared to that time, your shorter duration. Okay. If data is changing within 24 hours, then your caching should be 5-10 minutes. If data is changing once in a month, then your caching should be for 6 hours or 24 hours. If data is changing every minute, we should not do caching. Okay, like seat availability. This seat availability will change every 1 minute, so we should not do caching. But here, this data schedule will change once in a month, so we should do caching or not. So this caching we will do, let's say, caching for 6 hours. Okay, and as I told you, you can use clear cache function when you are writing data. So that will help you to get more real-time data. Even if you are doing caching, that will give you more real-time data. And here, this data will change once in a day. Okay. Then we should do caching for, let's say, 30 minutes. 30 minutes will be good enough, or 15 minutes. So always your caching should be very shorter compared to your static response. Means how much time it will be static. Okay. So now this part is clear. Now you can see here to call to get data from cache, it will take 100 milliseconds. To get data from this cache will take 100 milliseconds. 200 millisecond plus 2 seconds. Okay, and this processing, let's say 1 second. So almost 3.5 second or 3.2 second it will take. Previously it was taking 8 seconds. Now it will take 3.2 seconds. So we are coming in our range. It should be like response should be within 2-3 seconds. So we are in our range. Is it clear to everyone? Okay. Now second thing, we are doing caching, but where exactly we are storing this caching data? Okay. So for that, we should use some temporary storage. Okay. So inside cache component also, it has inbuilt storage, but generally we do we do store inside object store. So this is the object store. Generally means we can store at two places. Either you can use default storage of cache component, okay, or you can store inside object store. So this object store is temporary storage where you can store your cache data. Okay, now how it works? Okay, so whenever request will come, okay, you have to define one key. Okay, based on that, you will check inside object store. Okay, so whenever request will come to this cache component, check key. So what it will do? Whenever request will come, it will call this object store and it will check key exists or not. Okay, if key exists means not only key value pair. It will check key value pair exists or not. If this key value pair exists here, then this particular thing is known as cache hit. Okay, so what okay, so what it will do? It will send immediately response back within 100 milliseconds. So this particular thing is known as cache hit. Okay, and if key value pair doesn't exist here, there is no key value pair here, then what it will do? First, it will make call of actual system. Okay, let's say this is the storage of flight schedule. Okay, this storage can be, just give me 1 minute. Okay, so this storage can be anything. We don't know, like internally how which system they used. Okay, it can be any ERP system. It can be like database. Okay, so whatever system is there. So if this key value pair doesn't exist, first it will always check in this object store. If it doesn't exist here, then this is known as cache miss. Okay, if cache miss is there, then what it will do? It will fetch this data from this storage. Okay, okay, this will be cache miss. So first it will send data to this cache, and at the same time, this particular cache will store that data in this storage. Okay, first, it will like call the actual system. From there, cache will get data. That cache will store same data in object store, and then it will do next processing. So what will happen in next call, once it will make that key call, like it will make call for that particular key, that data will be inside object store. Everyone clear with this? Now, Ravi Challa, you are clear with this, how it's connected with object store? Hello. Hello, am I audible? Okay.
Yes, Ravi. Yes, Ravi.
Okay, so if it is good, then we can go for next topic.
Ravi, I'm unable to hear you, Ravi.
Sorry. Ravi, I'm not getting what you told. Able or
No, no.
unable?
Now I can hear you. Now I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, fine then. Any other component anyone want to understand? Okay. So next component, we have batch processing and integration architect point of view. Okay, you should know about this component. Okay, since many places when you are designing your API, okay, as an integration architect, you will have to decide like what will be more suitable component or do we have. Okay, first of all, whenever you are designing any API, you should know like that particular capability we have or not. Okay, let's say you have one requirement where you want to write the file and after writing you need to make it zip. Okay, so Mulesoft file connector don't support that particular operation. Zipping it don't support. Okay, in that case, as a Mulesoft component, definitely you will not able to do. You have to, like in Mulesoft only, you have to write custom code. You have to write like Java code to make it zip after processing of that particular file. Okay, so what all capability Mulesoft has, you should have very good understanding. Then only you will able to design a good API. Okay, so batch processing will definitely play a very important role. Okay, since many times you need to move huge amount of data. Okay, you can say where you need to move like 10,000 record, 20,000 record from one system to another system. Okay, so for that, like what all possible option we have? One option definitely we have batch processing. Apart of that, can anyone tell me, do we have any other option where we can do parallel processing?
Parallel for it.
We can go for parallel for each.
Yes, correct. So we have parallel for each also, and we have batch processing also. Okay, but you will say like if we have parallel for each, then why we will go with batch processing? So definitely we have parallel for each, but that parallel for each has also some advantage, and at the same time it has some disadvantage also. Okay, generally in parallel for each, it will support more number of parallel threads. Okay, so if you will select parallel for each, it will ask you maximum concurrency. Okay, you can define maximum concurrency till 100 also. Okay, so it will start 100 transaction or 100 thread at the same time. But in case of batch processing, here also you can define maximum concurrency, but that concurrency will depend on your CPU size. It's not like it will if you define 100, then it will take 100 thread. Okay, you can define maximum concurrency means maximum limit, but it will take number of parallel thread based on this its CPU, how many vCore you are using to deploy your Mule application. Okay, so that one advantage it has, like parallel for each has, but apart of that, parallel for each has multiple disadvantages. First thing, in parallel for each, it don't has its own error handling. Okay, if you want to do error handling, then what you need to do, you need to use try catch block. Okay, and you have to do lots of custom thing there. But in case of batch processing, it has very good error handling inbuilt capability. Okay, so what all inbuilt capability it has, we will discuss based on its properties. Okay, so first thing, those things are external things, how batch processing works. Before that, we will understand internally, okay, on what I can say, on their design point of view, how this particular batch processing works. Okay, so batch processing has 3 steps. Okay, these 3 components we use. It has 3 steps. Okay, whenever you start batch processing, internally it do 3 steps: load and dispatch, process, and on complete. Okay, so in first step, this load and dispatch, this will be not visible to you. Okay, this thing they maintain internally. So what it will do, whenever you will configure a batch component, okay, and there you will define batch size. Let's say we define batch size equals to 100. And from request, you got 10,000 requests, or let's say 2,000 requests. So what load and dispatch will do? First, it will split that record. Okay, so 2,000 records are there and batch size is 100. So it will split those 2,000 record into multiple batches. Okay, so how many batch it will create? 2,000 divided by 100. So it will create 20 batch. And what it will do? It will load that particular 20 batch inside this queue. Okay, internally they manage one queue. So each batch will be recorded in this queue. Okay, and each batch will have how many records? 100 record. Since we have 2,000 records, that 2,000 records is there and our batch size is 100. So if we will divide 2,000 by 100, then 20 batch. Let's say we have 2,050, then it will create 20 batch of 100 records and one batch of 50 record. So it will put those 21 batch in this particular queue. Okay, now next will be batch step. Okay, so you can define n number of batch step when you are creating your batch process. When you are defining your batch processing, you can define n number of batch step, and each batch step will have 2 parts: processor and aggregator. Okay, so what it will do, let's say our this particular application deployed on 8 vCore. Okay, and we got around 16 thread, or let's say take a smaller example. We deployed on 2 vCore and we got 4 parallel thread. Okay, so what those thread will do? Those 4 parallel thread will take one batch from this particular queue, batch 1, batch 2, batch 3, batch 4. Okay, what I can do? Okay, so one more minute. So we have here batch 1, batch 2, batch 3, batch 4, batch 5, batch 6, batch 7, batch 8, and like that we have till batch 21. Okay. We have till batch 21. Now when this batch processing will start, so since we have 4 thread, so what it will do, first thread will take this batch 1 and it will go here for this processing. Second thread will take batch 1, batch 2, and it will go here. So for this batch step, multiple instances will be created. Okay, each instance will serve one batch. This will also go here, and this will also go. Since we have 4 threads, so 4 thread will take one batch and it will go for batch step 1. Okay, now inside batch step 1, we have 2 parts. Okay. One is processor part, another one is aggregator part. Okay, in processor part, what it will do for each batch. Okay, so same it will do for other batch also, but let's discuss batch 1. So for batch 1, what it will do, it has 100 record. So it will do processing of one record. First record, second record, third record, fourth record, fifth record. Here, it will not process all the 100 record at a time. it will do processing of one record. But then you will say why we are saying this is parallel processing, this is multi-threaded. This is for batch 1. At the same time, batch 2 is also executing. At the same time, batch 3 is also executing. At the same time, batch 4 is also in its execution. Okay, so each batch has like first record, second record, third record, fourth record, first, second, third, fourth, first, second, third, fourth. So for each batch, one record is in progress. Okay, every time it will keep processing one record of each batch. That's why it's a multi-threaded. Okay, it's not processing one record at a time. It's processing multiple record at a time for each batch. Okay, for each batch, one record, but overall it's processing multiple record. That's why it's parallel processing. Okay, now once this 100 record processing completed inside aggregator. So if you want to do processing of one record, you will apply all the logic in processor part. If you want to do processing on each 100 record, like each total all 100 record at a time, then you have to do processing inside aggregator. So what aggregator will do? It will combine all those 100 records and then it will do processing. Let's say you have requirement, you have to do some transformation here for each record and you need to send to one target system. Okay, then you will do inside batch processing, but you have requirement, you have to do transformation on each record and then you have to send combined record to another target system. Then you will do inside aggregator. Everyone clear till this point?
Yes.
Now, once this batch 1, batch 2, or let's say this thread 1 completed the execution of batch 1, whatever processing was there, everything is completed. What it will do? It will return back this here and it will take next batch from here and it will send here. So now this one is completed. This particular thread, let's say this is thread 1, thread 2, thread 3, thread 4. Now this thread 1 will take this fifth batch. So once thread 2, this will completed. This is available now. Now this thread 2 will take this. Okay. In this way, this 4th thread will keep serving all the 21 requests. Once let's say this is done by thread 3. Now, once this thread 4 will be available, there is no record which hasn't completed batch 1. All record has already completed processing batch step 1. So what it will do now, thread 4, which is available, it will take first batch and it will go to batch step 2. Once thread 1 will be available, it will take second and it will go to batch 2. Like this, it will start executing this. Once all the batch will complete its execution in batch 2, batch step 2, then whatever thread will be available, it will take this record and it will go here. Okay. Once all the batch step will be completed, batch step 1, 2, 3, 4, once all the batch step will be completed, then it will go to on complete. Okay. And in on complete, what it will do, it will generate one report. How many record successfully completed, successfully processed, how many records are failed records. So here you will not get actual data. Okay. If you will say, I want to get the detail of, okay, which record failed, it will batch on complete will not tell you that kind of detail. On complete will tell you only metadata. How many record passed, how many failed, those kind of detail you will get. Okay. Now you have requirement. Okay. If my 5 record failed or complete one batch failed, then I want to handle those records. Okay, so what you can do, so what kind of handling you want, based on that you need to select. Let's say I want to, whatever in batch one, we had 100 record. Okay, and out of 100 record, 5 record got failed. In batch step 2, what I want to do, I want to process only this 5 record. And I want to write those 5 failed record inside some queue or some error database. So here, what you need to do in property, we have one property, which particular record you want to process. All record, only success record, or only failed record. Okay, if you want to see that property, let me open Studio also. Okay, so Studio, it will take 2-3 seconds, 2-3 minutes. Meanwhile, like we have one property to select to process only failed record. So whatever logic you want to apply, you can apply easily. Okay, or if you have requirement, okay, I want to do further processing for only success record in batch step 3, then you need to select property only success record, not for all. Okay, at the same time, we have another property, like till how many failure record our batch processing will keep continuing. Okay, let me show you all those properties. So this one is batch step, so you can define n number of batch step here. Okay. Batch step has processor and aggregator, and inside batch step, you have accept policy. All, no failure, only failure. So here in first batch step, I want to process all. In second batch step, I want to process only failure. And in third, I want to process no failure. So you can configure in this way. So here it will do processing for all record of particular batch. Here it will take only failed record of that particular batch, and here it will take only success record of that particular batch. Okay. And as I told you, you can define maximum concurrency, how many maximum thread will be there, that you can define here. See here, we have another property, max failed record. Okay. So in max failed record, you have to define till how many records, if fail, we will continue our processing. If it will reach this particular limit, let's say we are running our batch and after some time we have 100 failed record, and here we have defined 99. Then what we'll do, batch stop will stop the processing. Okay, and if you are defining 0 means undefined, it will Sorry, undefined value, I need to check it. Either it's a 0 or -1 that I need to double check. So if you will put that 0 or -1, which is undefined value. So even if like there will be all record will be failed, your batch processing will keep continue its execution. Hope this is clear to everyone. If any doubt, let me know. Okay, fine. So we have done till 6 question. Okay. Now we have 3 more QA session. So first, can anyone tell me this one? This is for everyone. Like this question is related to QA session. So we are done with this component discussion. So before closing this, like in previous session also, we had covered few scenario-based questions to understand those components very clearly. And today also we will have discussion of some scenario-based question to identify which component will be more suitable. So here, everyone need to answer 7th one.
So we don't get the proper expected output message. Whatever it's failed, we will get the failed response.
Okay. What about others? So here question is like we have 3 branch. Any one of them, any one of the branch will fail due to any reason. Either processing failed or external system is not reachable. It will give us error. So what will happen with batch processing component? Sorry, what will happen with scatter gather?
Rest of the two things execute.
Rest 2 thing will execute. Okay.
Final response is error.
So here what will happen in batch in scatter gather, if we have 3 branch, if any of these 3 branch will fail, the entire component will fail. Okay, the entire scatter gather will fail and it will go to your error handler. So when any of that branch will fail, before that, if other branch has completed its execution, maybe branch A takes 10 seconds, branch B takes 2 seconds, branch C takes 2 seconds. Okay, branch B and C has completed its 2 seconds, it's completed its execution. So that execution you can't revert back. But overall component, that component will fail. And after that scatter gather component, it will go to error handler. It will not go for next component. Is it clear for everyone? So what we are discussing here, we have HTTP listener. From here we got request and we have 3 branch. First branch, second branch, scatter gather we have already discussed in our previous session. So this is from previous session. So here, this is taking 10 seconds. This is taking 2 seconds. This is taking 2 seconds. And after this, we have logger component. So my question is, if anything will fail here, if error will come here, then it will go for logger or it will go to error handler. So it will go to error handler. If any of this branch will fail, then it will go to error handler. Okay. Second thing, even if any one of this branch will fail, I want to go to this logger component. So how I can go to this logger component?
We can use on error continue.
We are here inside error handler.
Inside the error handler, yeah.
Try catch we can go.
No, we can go for a try block and set
Sorry,
error handler there.
sorry, I
On the
didn't get it.
Yeah, on the failing branch, we can set try block and set error handler.
Yes. So here what we will do, we will put one try block. So whatever processing we are doing, we will put inside try block, and here we will have error handler. And inside this error handler, we need to put on error continue. So what will happen? Even if this will be fail, this processing will fail, it will go to error handler and overall processing will be treated as success since we have on error continue. If this component will be treated as success, means all branch is success, then it will go for next logger. Okay. So for this 7 and 8, we discussed just now. Now we have discussed about for each and parallel for each. Okay. So can anyone recap this? What all difference we have between parallel for each and for each? Just I want to understand everyone getting this or not, whatever discussion we did. When we will use for each and when we will use parallel for each component. So we did in our last, like we did detailed discussion about these two components in our last session. So can anyone highlight key points?
Yeah, Ravi.
Yes.
Yeah. For each, it processes a single record or many records at a time sequentially, but parallel for each is it processes multiple records parallelly, and for each is single threaded and parallel for each is multi-threaded.
Both are same point only, yeah, but it's correct, yes. So first key difference is for each is single threaded, but parallel for each is multi-threaded. Okay, so if let's say we have 100 records, and if you will use for each, then it will process those 100 records one by one. Okay, but in parallel for each, if you are defining maximum concurrency as a 10, so first it will process 10 record, then second it will process 10 record. So every time it will create 10 thread and it will do processing of 10 record. So that is the one key point between these two. Apart of that, okay, after for each, okay, your payload value will be as it is. Okay, let's say you have here kind of setting is there for okay. So let's say this is for each and this is parallel for each. So when array will come here and here, let's say in array we have 10 record R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, 6, R7, R8. Same we have here also. So here it will do processing of R1, R2, R3 like that. Single thread will be there. And here it will do processing of R1. Let's say we have maximum concurrency 3 or 5. R1, R2, R3, R4, R5. And then in second time 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So in this way it will do processing. Now you can see this is our payload which contain this is our payload which contain 10 record, and here also this is our payload which contain 10 record. After for each, okay, what will be your payload? If you will display payload, then it will be same. This only will be there after this for each. But if you will come, if you will display payload here, then it will be processed data will be there. Okay, let's say for each you are doing here set payload. You are updating the payload. So it will be array of payload. Okay. So payload value will remain as it is before for each, but payload value will change after your parallel for each, or it will be, and after for each, what will be your payload? Payload of each record processing, like what will be final payload after each record processing? It will be array of those payloads. Okay, this is the another important difference. Okay, can anyone tell me any one scenario where we must need to go with for each? We should not go with parallel for each. Any one scenario. Where, like you can see here we have 10 record, 10 record. We can go with for each also, parallel for each also. It will have its own advantage, disadvantage. But we can go with both the option. Okay. I just want to know like any one scenario where we have limitation, like we must need to go with for each only. Otherwise, everyone might think about like if we can do parallel processing, then what is the purpose of creating this for each? Definitely, if we will do parallel for each, our API performance will be good, everything will be good. Then unnecessary, like they have wasted their time to create for each. But there are some scenario where we must need to do for each only. We can't go with parallel for each. So can anyone highlight any one scenario? No? Okay. So if you want to do sequential processing, you have limitation. First, this record will be processed, then only this record will be processed.
Correct.
Okay. Then this record will be processed. If you will do parallel for each, then there will not be any sequence. Maybe this third record process before this first record. Since it's running parallelly, so based on the availability of threads or internal resources, maybe third record processed before first, or maybe this eighth record processed here and third record processed here. So eighth will complete first and third will complete later. But if you have such kind of limitation, it must do processing sequentially in the same way in which way we are getting request. Then you have to do this for each. Hope everyone clear with this. Okay, so we are, I think, good with this particular topic. Okay, now we will start next topic. Before that, let's take 10-minute break, and then we will have 30-minute session again, and then we will end up our session. So we can take 10-minute break. So it's I think what is time right now? 9:30, correct? IST time is 9:30. So let's meet at 9:40. Okay, and Eastern time, let's meet at 12:10. Okay, and then we will continue next topic.